Hello and thank you for joining us on News Nationwide, reaching you on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Haniri, has been directed to fashion out effective strategies towards turning the brain drain in the nation's health sector to brain gain through the repatriation of knowledge and skills of the Nigerian medical experts in the diaspora. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the directive while receiving the newly inaugurated executive committee members of the Nigerian Medical Association on a courtesy visit. He said already models aimed at revitalizing the healthcare system for improved quality of care and package to care providers in the country are being explored by the Health Sector Committee, chaired by Vice President Yemi Oshimbajo. We will bring you details in the course of the bulletin. Now, the approval of $2.5 billion for the development of the Badagry Deep Sea Port in Lagos State has reaffirmed the commitments of President Muhammadu Buhari's philosophy of private sector leadership in its economic development agenda. A statement signed by the chairman Buhari Media Organization BMO Nia Kinsiju states that the gesture also shows a strong determination to diversify the nation's economy. The statement adds that the Badagry Seaport, which is to be executed under a public-private partnership scheme, will have the private sector injecting money into the port project and manage it for 45 years before the final takeover by the federal government. The project, to be developed in 4 phases, will help the country generate revenue worth $53.6 billion over the concession period, as well as create jobs and attract foreign direct investments, culminating in an improvement in the well-being of Nigerians. Now, henceforth, developers are to be constantly reminded that the era of using unqualified construction firms will no longer be tolerated by the Council for the Regulation of Engineering Practice in Nigeria, COREN. This is one of the major reasons for the increasing cases of building collapse in Nigeria, as cited by the professionals as the opening of the 30th COREN Engineering Assembly holding in Abuja. Is an annual event for stock-taking and to professionally discuss technological innovations, advancements and problems of engineering and ways to address them. The Assembly also pledged to start investigations on engineering infrastructure failure in any part of the country. To Gombe State now, despite being one of the most peaceful states in the country, Gombe is not taking chances on anything that may affect the good record. To this end, Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahya has convened a peace and security summit to further engage community leaders and top security personnel in the country, including the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, on how to tame security challenges. At the summit, operational vehicles and other security apparatus were showcased. Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahya said the administration will continue to prioritize protection of lives and property of these citizens. He assured investors and other businessmen that Gombe is always ready to give them conducive atmosphere to thrive. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma says review of environmental laws is critical to stemming the tide of oil theft in the country. He stated this when he received the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipri Silva, on a courtesy visit at the Government House of Weri. Beatrice Anyam has the details.
The Minister of State for Petroleum, Timipri Silva, and his entourage, among whom are the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, and the Group Managing Director, NNPC, are in Government House Owerri to seek collaboration of the Imo State Government and other stakeholders towards checking oil theft in the country. Governor Hope Uzodinma says there is need to strengthen environmental laws by creating a strong enforcement unit that will ensure that laws against crude oil theft are obeyed.
The state government, under my watch, will do our best to support oil-producing companies in our state. We will do our best to collaborate with federal government to ensure that none of their programs are sabotaged. And on the side of federal government, we need support.
While explaining the growing concerns over crude oil theft across the Niger Delta region, the Minister of Petroleum, Timi Silva, says crude oil theft has become a national emergency that requires urgent and collective effort to check.
Our OPEC quota today is about 1.8 million barrels per day. And for the past several months, we've been doing an average of 1.4. And you can see how much money we are losing every day.
Armed forces and other security agencies are available to receive whatever support in terms of information, and then, of course, bringing out or letting us know those who are behind this criminal enterprise for them to take the appropriate action.
In Uri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
And from Delta comes the report that the state governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, has advocated a review of surveillance contracts on oil facilities to involve host communities in order to check the high rate of oil theft in the country. He made the call when he received the federal government's delegation on anti-oil theft, led by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timi Silva, at the Government House, Asaba. Ifeoma Okafo has the details.
The governor emphasized that the surveillance contracts should involve the participation of the community and tied to performance, so that when there are oil thefts, the contracts can be terminated. He frowned on all companies for not keeping faith with their memorandum of understanding (MOUs), thereby making the stakeholders lose confidence in the system.
The state will offer its best in partnering with security agencies to do what they ought to do. We also hope that the Petroleum Industry Act is fully implemented, in which the communities begin to see the real benefit of truly engaging with both the NNPC Limited and the oil company.
If we as a country come together and are able to monetize the injected gas and the flare gas, that would be a major additional value to this country.
Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Irabo, who is coordinating the security intervention, disclosed that in the last 5 months, security agencies have been dealing with issues of illegal refineries and oil bunkering across the Niger Delta.
If the host communities are appropriately engaged by the state government, then of course, close to 90% of the problem will be addressed.
On his part, the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Malam Melekari, said that Nigeria is currently losing about $2 billion monthly to the activities of oil vendors, with its attendant effect on environmental degradation. Ifeoma Okafo, NTA News.
Now, there are lots of thoughts surrounding public safety and ways to go about it. At an open forum in Abuja, the implementation of the 2020 Police Reform Act was the issue of discourse. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
Just like every other day, duty calls for these police officers with checks for threat. While their routine work is on, there were reported cases of abuse of power by some police officers. NSAS protest in 2020 seeks to end the violation of human rights. The yearning was heard, and the 2020 Police Reform Act established. Just a few days ago, a video went viral on social media of an unprofessional conduct by a police inspector who was subsequently dismissed.
Don't tell how important police is.
Now, an open forum holds to establish the nexus between public safety and economic growth, citing the implementation of the Police Reform Act.
The focal points of today's open forum is targeted at the implementation of the Act aimed at providing an effective police force driven by the principles of professionalism, accountability.
Institutions such as the police is not only central to individual safety, but also to improving the business environment, as well as catalyzing economic development and competitiveness.
So you have to develop practical, measurable indicators of police behavior, police conduct, police performance in relationship to elements within the law. So the law, in a broad sense, is not what we're implementing. There are indicators of the provisions.
From intelligence gathering to training communities on early warning, early response mechanisms, police still beat people into getting confessions instead of using IT skills in trying to know exactly what happened.
A technical session holds afterwards, and hopefully deliberations held will impact the Reform Act. Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
Still on security, the Nigeria Police Force has dismissed a constable, Liyomo Okoye, attached to the Ekori Divisional Police Headquarters, Cross River State Command. The dismissal followed a gross misconduct captured in a viral video where he was seen hitting a man with a machete. Francis Form reports.
That the policeman who was identified in the video as Police Constable Liyomo Okoye with force number 524503 has ceased to be a member of the force because he has been dismissed. Liyomo Okoye, who was dismissed from Nigeria Police Force, has nothing to do with Nigeria Police Force as from this moment.
Inspector General of Police Usman Al-Khalibaba expresses disappointment at such reports of brutality and extortion leveled against some police personnel and has directed all supervising commissioner of police and tactical strategic commanders to ensure strict supervision of their subordinates, warning that further incidences of this nature will be viewed strictly. He has also ordered an overhaul of the intelligence response team, the special tactical squad, and the special weapon and tactics units to ensure their operations are in accordance with their clear-cut responsibilities. Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Intelligence Bureau has also been ordered to carry out supervisory roles over the three units to ensure their operations are professional, productive, and not infringe on the fundamental rights of the citizens. Francis from NTA News.
Now, the Imo State Police Command says it has arrested some suspected members of the proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, and its ESN affiliate, alleged to have been involved in the attack on Agwa Police Station in Oguta local government area of Imo State, which resulted in the death of 4 police officers earlier this month. A statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, Michael Abatam, indicates that the arrest followed investigation and intelligence gathering by operatives of the command, who raided some identified criminal hideouts located between Agwa and Izombi communities in Oguta local government area of Imo State. It says the hoodlums on site in the police operatives engaged them in a gun duel. Although some of the suspects are said to have escaped, 8 were however arrested. The statement further notes that one of the suspects who sustained bullet injury. Ihala local government area in Anambra State has been affected by security issues, and to find a solution, Governor Chukwuma Soludo engaged stakeholders to join hands with the state government in addressing organized crimes, particularly kidnapping. Ndem Kalu reports on recent engagements with some key figures on security in Awka.
The governor, who appreciated the people of Ihiala for their support during the last gubernatorial election, urged them to unite against insecurity in the zone. It stated that the present administration met almost with the entire South Senatorial Zone, taken over by gunmen. But however, government has put in massive efforts in dislodging them. He emphasized that oil economy is on the high decline, and the state government is looking towards green revolution to revitalize its economy.
We are encouraging communities to get back to their destiny. Yes. Government will come in with those things which we cannot do first.
Responding Leader of the team, Seydon Adenoba, commended the governor for his giant strides in the state, especially in the area of security, promising to continue to support his administration in developing the state.
We are committed to security in the state. Therefore, we are stakeholders and resolve in the next few days to contribute significantly to the Anambra security process.
Inoka, Ndemkalo, NTN News.
As Nigerian security agencies continue deploying strategies in containing threats to national peace, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has given marching orders to its personnel towards securing national assets and critical infrastructure. The new task came to the fore during the Corps' high security engagements with state commandants. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
The environment needs to be adequately protected from the activities of vandals, and to reject the pledge of NSCDC mandate, state commandants are giving new orders to reinforce security across critical zones of the country.
We will deploy your personnel to all critical assets and infrastructure sites, outline, airports, railways.
The Corps is also compelling its officers to confront the nation's security challenges in synergy with other gallant agencies in the front line to clear terrorists and restore public confidence in all parts of the country.
Henceforth, we are going to call commandants responsible if there is any attack, any critical infrastructure within your domain.
As part of measures to assuage the plight of families of the nation's fallen heroes, NSCDC doled out cash to assist them pick up their lives and urged them to build resilience around their adversities. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
And Salamatu in Kaduna has an update on security situation along Abuja-Kaduna Highway.
Lami, and glad to have you join us here. Security has been beefed up along Abuja-Kaduna Highway as part of mop-up exercise to flush terrorists and kidnappers operating along that corridor. Umar Ajingi reports that the combined security personnel are combing bushy areas suspected to serve as criminals den.
The main duty of this security personnel along Kaduna-Abuja Highway is to ensure safety of motorists flying the road against any form of threat, especially by terrorists or kidnappers. And this is in compliance with the presidential directives of Operation No Mercy Against Terrorist Groups. There is relative calm along the corridor following sustained surveillance by armed security personnel. Motorists flying the road attested to the result of this operation.
The road is now safe. The military are trying their best.
Our police deserve commendation. Our security forces do not deserve condemnation. Our security forces do not deserve people to come with stories that will not motivate them.
Communities along the highway such as Rujan and Kateri, considered flashpoints, are now happy with the measures taken to secure the area.
Since the beginning of this operation, we didn't experience any kidnapping in the area.
The residents say the exercise has been a success, with security operatives making inroads into the criminals' den. In Kaduna, Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Similarly, the Nigerian Army says it is breaking the barriers in tackling security challenges by deploying non-kinetic approach that requires input of the general public to succeed. This was the focus of one-day seminar on civil-military relations organized by the Department of Civil Affairs of the Nigerian Army for social media influencers in Duse, Jigawa State. Bello Wunda reports.
Promoting national peace and security using social media content in shaping public opinion through effective enlightenment strategies are some of the measures put in place by the Nigerian Army in its non-kinetic operations. The Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, represented by Chief of Military Affairs Major General Marcus Kangi, says the cyberspace is the latest domain of modern warfare, and social media is critical in deciding outcome of military operations across the country.
It is very obvious that what we say, the way we say it, and how it's spread on social media has far-reaching implications in the Nigerian security environment. Therefore, social media plays a crucial role in promoting peace and shaping public opinion.
Key players agreed on the need to avoid the spread of fake news as well as promote professionalism in assisting the Nigerian Army in carrying out its statutory duty.
We have come to realize that this war cannot be won with tanks and guns alone. The success of this war is beyond tanks and guns. We also need the non-kinetic approaches. We need human angle. We need people to provide information. We need people to work with the military. We need people to understand the military better.
Having these civil-military relations, especially with the social media influencers, that's the civil society activists, it will help in strengthening the relationship and also the understanding, and even bring the co-creation and working relationship with security agencies.
The 21st Century Social Media Influencers Seminar had the theme, The Nigerian Army's Non-Kinetic Lines of Operations, Critical Role of Social Media. In Dutse, Ibrahim Bello, NTA News.
And that is it on our package from Kaduna. You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We'll go on a break now. Thereafter, we'll join Hinginu in our Lagos Network Center. Stay tuned.
Thanks for being there and welcome to Lagos. The West African Examination Council, WAEC, has recorded 5.34% decrease in performance of candidates who obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics. Head of the Nigerian National Office, Patrick Aragon, made this known while briefing the media on 2022 results. Exactly 45 days after the last paper of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, results have been released.
Candidates who sat the examination.
Announcing the development, head of the Nigerian National Office revealed that out of the 1,601,047 candidates that sat for the examination, 1,409,529, representing 88.04%, obtained credits and above in a minimum of any 5 subjects, with or without English language or mathematics, while 1,222,505 candidates, representing 76.36%, obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics. This, he says, is a decline from last year's 81.7%.
The activities of road website operators and the so-called miracle centers did not go unnoticed, as the council was able to identify and apprehend these unpatriotic fellows through the help of security operatives. The council will continue to sanction all cases of examination malpractice. Schools, supervisors, teachers, and candidates perpetrating this evil are not helping the educational system.
The WAEC boss in the country assured those with few subjects withheld due to unresolved issues that their results will be released within 1 week. Away from education now, from what was once isolated and far in between cases, incidences of insecurity in the country have become rather pervasive, an issue of national concern requiring urgent and collaborative effort to nip in the bud. In this report, Relin Leneke examines the role of communities and the state in rolling back insecurity and ensuring adequate protection of lives and property of Nigerians.
For some time now, concern about insecurity has heightened in Nigeria, following frequent cases of kidnapping, banditry, violent extremism, killings, farmer-herder conflicts, and smuggling reported in different parts of the country. With some of these crimes taking on religious and ethnic coloration, they have assumed more dangerous dimensions, sowing seeds of distrust and mutual suspicion among brothers. Even in the midst of all this, they believe that security is the business of everyone instead of the government alone holds true, as call for members of the society to take responsibility for their own safety becomes more stringent.
Policing has many actors. Nigerian police agents or officers are just the only paid agents we have. An average Nigerian is a member of policing system in Nigeria.
With police officer to citizens ratio not entirely adequate, the question now is, how best can the people complement existing structures and be their own eyes and ears for the safety of the entire state or territory?
Scavenger also, we monitor them. Most of the time we ask them not even to enter. So because at times you see them in different way, which we believe that they're not here for only to gather rubbish or this thing that they do collect.
We as citizens should be ready to organize ourselves and, discuss this problem as a national security problem. And then, of course, say something when we see or hear something.
Difficult but not insurmountable, the security challenge in the country may well yield ground to peace and tranquility very soon. If all hands are on deck to support security agencies and make our environment unsafe haven for criminals. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
That's it from here. It's now back to Lami in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Lami?
Yuhinginu. Now, reviewing the CBN monetary policy, enhancing import substitution, and addressing insecurity in the oil and gas sector are some of the critical and urgent actions that have been suggested to turn around the dwindling value of the naira. These were some of the initiatives offered by financial experts discussing firming up the naira on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Ekemini Williams has the details.
How to firm up the naira has been a lingering question in the face of recurring depreciation in the value of the national currency, which spiked to over 700 naira to $1 of recent. The Central Bank of Nigeria attributes it to structural deficiencies in the economy, distortions in the inflow of foreign exchange, as well as inflation, which needs to be addressed.
So long as we do not address these fundamentals, so long as we don't affect supply side, so long as we don't look inwards in the sense that the ability to reduce the unnecessary imports, which we can produce locally, even though, like I said, these are not within the purview of the bank to, drive that. But initiatives have been taken largely to address the supply side. And those supply side initiatives, most important among them now is the RT200 that's just been discussed. And the essence of that is to drive export. Export that is also value added, job creating. So it's addressing the external side, it's also addressing the domestic side because it's creating jobs, it's allowing our farms and businesses to now start growing up and they're earning income domestically and they're also creating the market.
The Central Bank of Nigeria was, however, asked to review its monetary policy as it is constituting a barrier to inflows and allow for market reflective rates.
The barriers that the current policy has placed on the inflows, that's private capital inflows into the foreign exchange market, will have been removed. Because, let's face it, we have other sources of inflows. We have foreign direct investment inflows, we have foreign portfolio investors, we have the export proceeds, we have proceeds from oil companies, we have proceeds from the embassies, we have processing from the Nigerian Port Authority, NIMASA, and the rest of them. And the way to ensure that these inflows come into the economy officially and through the right window is to allow for a market reflective exchange rate.
The CBN was urged to address the liquidity problem, which has had a ripple effect on airlines and other sectors of the economy. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
The acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kayode Ariwola, has commended Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade for his investment in youth empowerment and human capacity development in the state. The head of the Nigerian judiciary stated this in an event organized by the state government in honor of Justice Emmanuel Akumayagim, who was recently elevated to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Paul Abel completes the report.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, in company of Justices of the Supreme Court, Chief Judges of Sokoto, Plateau and Cross River States, as well as High and Appeal Court judges, have all converged on Calabar, despite being on vacation, to honor their colleague, Justice Emmanuel Agim, who has made Nigeria proud both within and outside the shores of the country.
You've had this number of achievements. I'm proud of giving jobs to the youth. You can still build bridges, but the bridges you are building in humanity is stronger than, structural bridges.
From the dinner laced with Cross River State style of entertainment to the Thanksgiving marathon reception, the message by the officiating bishop, the host governor, and the judiciary colossus at the center of the celebration is for public office holders to add value to the lives of their people while demonstrating exemplary character and focus on God.
What are we leading for our children? Do they have a good country they can inherit and manage? What economy are we leading for them?
Those of us who are in power, we are not there because we are the best, but because I think God has just elected us to be able to be of service to mankind. We owe this country a duty to salvage the situation we have, salvage it out of the situation we find ourselves now.
Justice Emmanuel Akumoye Agim, born in 1960, hails from Obanliku Budu local government area of Cross River State, was a one-time Supreme Court Justice in Swaziland and former Chief Justice of the Republic of Gambia. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Now, farmers in Nasarawa State are receiving more intervention from governments at all levels, with additional 3,000 bags of fertilizers and other farm inputs donated to boost food production in the state. Joshua Kigbu reports.
The rains are intensifying and the land is green as farmers in Nasarawa State return to farms for agricultural production. However, farmers are in need of fertilizers and other farm inputs to make a bumper harvest. 3,000 bags of fertilizers with other farm inputs have come in handy to be distributed to farmers free. Former governor of the state, Senator Morutanko Almakura, donates the commodities.
If we really want food security in this country, we need not only to expand the scope of our farming, but also to provide enough inputs.
Nasarawa State Deputy Governor Emmanuel Akabe urges farmers to utilize the fertilizers in order to increase food production in the state.
Our father has listened to the cries of these farmers and has come out to support them.
The state government had earlier flagged off the distribution of fertilizers to farmers for this year's cropping season, and the latest donation is to complement government efforts in ensuring food security. Joshua Kigbu, NTA News.
We now join Ogochukwuka in Benin for more stories on Nationwide. It's over to you.
Ilami, welcome to Benin. The annual two-division inter-brigade combat proficiency competition of the Nigerian Army, which seeks to improve, sharpen and challenge the leadership qualities of junior commanders, has commenced. The competition, hosted by 4 Brigade Nigerian Army Cantonment Benin City, was declared open by the General Officer Commanding 2 Division, Major General Gold Chibwisi. Paul Omukago tells us more.
These officers between the ranks of second lieutenant and major are being drilled as part of the competition, not only to keep fit, but to be mentally and psychologically alert. The combat proficiency exercise is also to test their initiatives and prepare them for higher responsibilities in a joint combat environment. In a message read on his behalf by the Commander of 4 Brigade, Brigadier General Sani apply, the GOC urged participants to be challenged, inspired, and exhibit the spirit of sportsmanship all through the competition in order to attain the highest standard of professionalism.
The competition could not have come at a better time when our dear nation is in need of quality leadership in the military. It is our duty to collectively and patriotically see ourselves as vanguard for the enthronement of ideals that will elicit nation building. This competition provides an avenue to ascertain the battle fitness of officers in order to cope with the vagaries of contemporary security challenges confronting the country.
4 formations under 2 divisions are participating in the military drill expected to end on Friday, 12th August 2022. In Benin, Paul Mukago, NTA News.
Governor Ifeanyi Okowa and Vice Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has called on Christians not to allow political intrigues to pollute the church and influence their sense of judgment to vote the candidates of their choice in the 2023 general elections. The governor made the call when he received leaders of the South Zone of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, led by Archbishop Israel Ege in Government House, Asaba. Tessie Coker reports. For Governor Okowa, the time has come for Christians to go on their knees and seek divine direction in the choice of the nation's leaders that will emerge in 2023 rather than engaging in religious bigotry. For him, the church should continue to lead the people aright.
With the things going on now with the education sector, it's not something that any one of us had wished or would wish for our country. So there are things that ought to be done, and we need to find ways to do them speedily. Leader of the team, Archbishop Israel Ege, said the essence of the visit is to appreciate Okowa for his support for Christians in the South-South region.
We are filled with joy as we sit with you and your State Executive Council members, offering our most sincere congratulations on your emergence as the Vice Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP.
Prayers were offered for the state and Nigeria at large. Tessie Coker, NTA News. The lineup in the bulletin indicates another commercial break. Thereafter, Nana will be coming up from Sokoto with more reports.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here in Sokoto. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has presented a new Toyota Hilux vehicle to Regimental Sergeant Major of Headquarters 8th Division Nigerian Army, Samson Jimba. Sheikh Muhammad Detti completes the story.
Presenting the vehicle on behalf of the Chief of the Army Staff, Commander Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji, and General Officer Commanding 8th Division Nigerian Army Sokoto, Major General Uwem Bersi, said the vehicle is part of the Chief of the Army Staff's gesture to boost the morale of Army warrant officers, having contributed their quota to selfless service to Nigeria. Major General Uwem stated further that the presentation of the vehicle is aimed at restoring the prestige associated with the office in line with the customs and tradition of Nigerian Army. As custodians of regimentation and bridge between officers and soldiers, RSMs have done well in ensuring soldiers are disciplined. He charged RSMs to remain dedicated to instilling discipline and regimentation among personnel to enhance professionalism among troops.
We want to use this very important event to encourage other aspiring soldiers, warrant officers to work hard. For what we witnessed today, when you excel and climb to the rank of Army warrant officer, perhaps being appointed the RSM, you will certainly benefit.
RSM Samson Jimba of the 8th Division expressed gratitude to the Chief of the Army Staff for finding him worthy and pledged to put the vehicle to proper use. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
Academic activities have resumed at the Sheikh Ushagari College of Education, Sokoto, after the closure of the institution for 3 months due to the student unrest that led to the killing of NCE 3 student Deborah Samuel. Dalhatu Abdullahi completes the story.
The reopening of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto, followed directives of Sokoto State Governor to governing board of the college. The college second semester examination was disrupted due to the unrest. At the time of NTA visit, students were seen at their different departments signing 3 copies of undertaking to be of good behavior and not partake in any form of act that could lead to arrest. The students are also to pay a fine of 1,000 naira each. Some of the students interviewed assured of adhering to the rules and regulations of the institution. They also described the unrest as unfortunate as it had disrupted their academic activities.
We get delayed. We were supposed to be rounding up our first semester by now. So now everything just started afresh.
Most of our colleagues that are on another appellation have already did their examination.
Provost of the college, Dr. Muhammad Wadat Hakimi, said a committee has been set up to monitor the 3 days undertaken by students, and by Monday examinations will start. He warned students to be tolerant of one another, as the institution has taken adequate security measures to guard against any unforeseen incident.
There are people that we have recruited that are going to interact with the students so that they will be feeding us intelligence information so that in the event of anything like this trying to happen, we'll nip it in the bud.
It could be recalled that Shoshagari College of Education, Sokoto, was closed due to students' unrest. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
That rounds up the stories from us here in Sokoto. Nationwide continues with Lamina Abuja. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nana. Now, Step Up for Breastfeeding, Educate and Support is the theme for the 2022 World Breastfeeding Week. The Ministry of Women Affairs worked this talk as the ministry took awareness campaign to breastfeeding and expectant mothers at the Asokoro District Hospital. Naja'atu Tijani reports.
Titilayo Oyewole is a mother of 2. She shares her success story of her 6-month exclusive breastfeeding.
I give my baby breast for complete 6 months before I introduce anything, even water to her. And as we can see, the baby is healthy. It's very good and it's done very well.
This awareness campaign by the Ministry of Women Affairs is targeted at enlightening breastfeeding mothers and pregnant women on the importance and value of exclusive breastfeeding.
I call on you all to be advocates for exclusive breastfeeding as I urge you to utilize every opportunity to reach out to other members of your families, friends, neighbors, women groups, communities, religious places within your sphere to share your experiences.
Exclusive breastfeeding can be done anywhere, inside the market, at home, in the church, everywhere. You just sit down comfortably where you can get a chair and position your baby closer to you and start to breastfeed your baby. The baby that is exclusively breastfed will not be running temperature. They will not be coming to the hospital for different kind of sickness. They look very healthy. That you are breastfeeding your baby doesn't mean that because you are breastfeeding baby breast with all, you will look ugly. No, you take care of yourself, you will do packaging.
The ministry is also calling on public and private firms to provide breastfeeding corners for working breastfeeding mothers. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Now we go back to the report we promoted earlier on the visit by the newly inaugurated executive committee members of the Nigerian Medical Association to President Muhammadu Buhari. Adamu Sambu has that story. All right, moving on. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, sports federations and associations in the country on the successful conclusion and performance of Team Nigeria at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, United Kingdom. In a statement, President Buhari expresses delight at several reports of peaceful atmosphere, unity and camaraderie in the camp throughout the Games, which reflected positively in the psyche of the athletes, contributing to the harvest of medals for Team Nigeria. He urges the officials to work with all relevant stakeholders to build on the success of the 2022 Commonwealth Games Games and begin preparations early to surpass this spectacular achievement in upcoming competitions. President Buhari said he looks forward to a rousing reception from Nigerians for members of Team Nigeria Birmingham 2022, even as he assures all stakeholders that youth and sports development will remain a priority for the administration. Now, Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talon, says there is a need to celebrate Nigerian women and girls as they continue to redefine Nigeria in the eyes of the world. In a statement, the minister expressed delight on what she described as the rise from challenges demonstrated by the young women on the Team Nigeria to the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, which is changing the narratives for the image of Nigeria for the best by hauling in gold medals to place Nigeria on the global arena as the best African team in the competition. She particularly commended the amazing quartet women relay team of Favor Philly, Rosemary Chukuma, Grace Mukocha, and the superlative golden girl, Tobi Amuso, who also won another gold medal in the 100 meters women's hurdle events, while also thanking Ese Brume, Blessing Uboridudu, Odunayo Adekuroye, Adijat Adenike Olarinuwe, Metine Mercy Genesis, Rafiatu Folashade Lawal, Folashade Uluwa Femilayo, Eukaria Yazi, Chioma Unyekwere, and Goodness Majugu, who all won gold medals in their events. The minister equally congratulated silver and bronze medalists for the heroic outing. The report, which we promoted earlier on the visit by the newly inaugurated executive committee members of the Nigerian Medical Association to President Buhari, is ready, and we take it from Adam Sambo.
I thank you for the path of peace that you have adopted.
By consistently choosing peaceful resolutions of differences, President Muhammadu Buhari said the Nigerian Medical Association pushed forward several requests to government and interventions made on matters pertinent to the national health system. Some of the recommendations include the review and amendment of the National Health Insurance Act, upgrading and equipping of the health institutions, loans to fund hospital equipment, repeal and reenactment of the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act, as well as improved funding for the newly established universities of medical sciences.
I am pleased to inform you that most of these recommendations have been addressed, whilst further action is being taken to study those involving cross-cutting administrative processes with legal implications. The Central Bank of Nigeria's support to the private pharmaceutical sector in the local manufacturing of medicines and medical consumables has also led to the provision of 100 billion naira for indigenous pharma manufacturers and healthcare investors as loans to expand their capital base.
In the area of healthcare infrastructure, the president said his administration has equipped federal tertiary hospitals with 100 oxygen generation plants to guarantee nationwide sufficiency, provided isolation centers and intensive care units, as well as established the novel National Health Emergency Medical and Ambulance Services.
Our Health Sector Reform Committee is currently exploring models for revitalizing our healthcare system in ways that improve quality of care and the benefit package to care providers. It is my hope that the Nigerian Medical Association and other stakeholders in the health sector will support these initiatives and chart a fast track to a health system that best meets the needs of Nigerians in the 21st century.
While formally congratulating Nigeria's Dr. Osaho Enabulele on his recent election as president of the World Medical Association, the president wished him and indeed the new executive members of the Nigerian Medical Association successful tenures and urged them to use their positions towards supporting the improvement in healthcare delivery. The president of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Uche Roland Ojima, commended President Buhari for his steadfast war against corruption, assenting to the National Health Insurance Authority Act, and other reforms aimed at improving Nigeria's health indices.
We believe that though the road has not been easy, you have given your best, and by the grace of God, it shall end well. May posterity judge you and your administration fairly. We call for full and appropriate implementation of National Health Insurance Authority Act to the benefit of Nigerians. Elongation of retirement age for medical consultants to 70 years and 65 years for non-consultants and other healthcare workers will help stabilize the rapid decline in available number of skilled health care workforce to the ultimate benefit of the nation and her citizenry.
The Nigerian Medical Association made a case for federal government representation at the inauguration of Dr. Enabulele as president of the World Medical Association in Berlin, Germany later this year. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And that does it on NTA Nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. Don't forget to join the NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. I am Lami Ali. Have a good evening.